Okay, well, we've got one final guest waiting for us in the green room at the moment, behind the BMW car over there. She is Claudia Baumgartner. She is a senior consultant with VMZ Berlin. Thank
Hi,
you.
Sarah.
Hello.
Nice.
Thank you for joining us. So, last but by no means least, I promise. Claudia, if it's okay with you, if you wouldn't mind just explaining a little bit more about VMZ Berlin for those of us who might not know that much about.
So VMZ Berlin is a small company. It's just 30 people working at VMZ. And we are all engaged in mobility. So we are traffic planners, we are traffic engineers, and we are focusing more and more on information, on travel information, on multimodal travel information. Because we are located in Berlin, we work together with the city of Berlin. And Berlin nowadays is a very interesting place to be when you're interested in mobility, because there is a lot of things happening there. There is a lot of new concepts that are actually put on the streets, and therefore it's quite an interesting thing to be at Berlin and to work on mobility.
So what sort of examples are we seeing at the moment which are in place in Berlin that we might not have in other cities?
Pardon?
What sort of examples do you have at the moment in Berlin that we might not have seen yet in other cities?
Oh, I think there is a lot of examples, because there is, of course, Berlin is quite active in defining new mobility strategies that cope with the task of keeping the city alive, keeping the mobility needs of economy and people, and fulfilling these needs, but also to preserve the city as a place that is livable with a high living quality. So what's in Berlin, what I see in Berlin, that
I love how passionate you are about this as well.
Really that they really focus on balancing these different needs and requirements to mobility as a citizen, and who wants to live there and who wants to live in a nice and high quality city center.
So what sort of changes have we seen in Berlin because of the Internet of Things and because of the Internet in the way that traffic moves and that people move and use a city?
Mm-hmm. I mean, the Internet is on one side, it really changes mobility patterns in Berlin, in Munich, in small cities too. This is the one side, that it really has an impact on mobility that has to be taken into account by traffic planners, by traffic and mobility managers too. So everybody knows, everybody does internet shopping, yeah, and wants to get his parcel right on time, and it has to be delivered the day before Christmas in time. However, we are annoyed of parcel services that are blocking the street and creating congestion. This is just one example. The other one, everybody who has a teenager at home has
Anyone got a teenager?
An impression how mobility is going to change, because they come back from school, sit down on the sofa, have their smartphone, begin to chat, begin to play, begin to talk with their friends on their homeworks. This is a mobility in the digital world that really substitutes physical mobility. And I mean, everybody knows that we do web conferences, and therefore mobility on the one hand changes the mobility patterns, and on the other hand, the internet is a very, and I think this is going to be an even more powerful tool to manage traffic. because with the internet we have instruments on giving people exactly the information they need in a specific situation. So we do not just broadcast and hope that this traffic information will be listened to by the right person, but we can address them proactively and giving them just the information they need. And this is, I think, this is really a wonderful tool for influencing traffic and for controlling traffic or mobility. And of course, we have lots and lots of new traffic options or mobility options. So what we see is, and we see that in all big cities, we see a tendency of more multimodal traffic behavior, especially young people are less car dependent.
And do you think, just to interrupt, do you think we might see as well, obviously talking with the car manufacturers, companies such as VMZ Berlin working more with cars and the cars working with your companies in order to improve mobility?
Yes, of course. I mean, we work together with car manufacturers who are researching or who actually have it in place, new sharing concepts. So we integrate the information on car sharing in our information. And of course, we are very interested in the information that comes from the cars in order to monitor the real-time traffic situation. And of course, this is a very interesting thing.
Well, Claudia, I'm so sorry. I know you're so passionate. I'm going to have to stop you there, but we're going to be chatting with you again in a moment. So, Claudia Baumgartner, thank you so much.
You're welcome.